Yes. So we also have guideposts for good barangay governance, and it's also it should be TAR, transparency. So these are the 4 pillars for barangay good governance, for good governance to happen in our respective barangays. And we have 4 pillars: transparency, accountability, responsiveness, and participation. So transparency. Actually, last week I think there was a memo for all organic personnel of the DILG to attend their respective barangay assemblies. Okay? So this is one way for barangay governments to be transparent. What happens during the barangay assembly? There's reporting of accomplishments of the barangay for the past 6 months, and at the same time on how the funds of the barangays were utilized and were dispersed. Okay? And another thing is, these are actually provided for the local government code, the posting of financial statements. And then on responsiveness, we are advocating that all barangays should have their own respective barangay citizens charter and the establishment of public information desk. So this is in compliance to the Anti-Red Tape Act. Okay. Participation, I think I mentioned this earlier, engaging civil society organizations. Where will the barangays engage the civil society organizations? It is through the membership of the representatives of the CSOs in the different barangay-based institutions. And then accountability. We have already piloted the barangay governance performance management system because we would like to know how good is the barangay government as far as financial operations, financial management is concerned, and as far as how they deliver their respective services. Okay, performance management, I think I was able to discuss this one. Next slide. I think this will be discussed later. The seal of good housekeeping. So this is in line with the department's commitment to aggressively scale up interventions to elevate the practice of governance that values transparency, accountability, participation, and performance. So improving internal governance. So this is as far as the DILG sector, LG sector and ETL sectors are concerned. So we have the standardized and cost of procedures to maximize use of limited funds. Okay? So one way is by posting bids in the DILG website. So I think based on the statement of the Secretary, there were actually times that the DILG, BNP, the Bureau of Fire Protection, and BHP were able to save millions of pesos just by being transparent. So transparency in the budget process, strengthening of the procurement process, made the DILG website more interactive and public-friendly, and at the same time, establishment of the public assistance and complaint center. So we are also advocating anti-corruption measures in the DILGs through the implementation of the Project Cure Red Tape. So Project Cure Red Tape is a comprehensive and unified response to eliminate red tape. And we have upscaled the implementation of the business permit and licensing system, the BPLS. That's the real reason why I think aside from the national target that we are also encouraging LGUs from the different parts of the region to enroll in the BPLS, the streamlining of business permit and licensing system. So the idea here is that given that we have a very low performance as far as surveys on the ease of doing business in the country, the ease of doing business in the Philippines, and at at the same time, the very long period for the application in applying for business permits and in coming up with business licenses. So we would like to upscale the implementation of the business permit and licensing system. So at least with the BPLS, we have set minimum standards as far as the number of days for the process. So I think from 15, we would like to the business startups or the new businesses to at least get their permits and their licenses within 5 days from the 15 days or the previous 15 days, and then 5 days for the renewals and 10 days for the new application for the business startups. And at the same time, from 52 days to at least 5 days and 10 days lang. Okay? Challenges of participation, I think I was able to do this one earlier. So in what areas, as far as program implementation, policy compliance, and performance monitoring and assessment. That's why when we have conducted the Gawad Pamana ng Lahi evaluation, I think we have conducted the Gawad Pamana ng Lahi evaluation, we have also encouraged the participation of one NGO in the region to help us in evaluating the performance of our NGOs. This is to ensure that the result of the Gawad Pamana ng Lahi, at the same time, we have a third opinion sa Itapaman as far as how we look at the performance of our local government units. So that was the what I have mentioned is more on the tapat na palakad or good governance. On the bayan on that, so the DILG actually is intensifying the implementation of DILG programs on anti-corruption, poverty alleviation, ERM, local economic transformation. Because as later it will be discussed by the planning officer by Lian, we have 5 major outcomes, major final outcomes. One of that is to ensure that we could carry on, is that we have disaster resilient NGOs. Another is to ensure that there will be competitive and business-friendly NGOs. So most of the things that we're doing as far as the Biyahe Pinoy is concerned, as far as Biyahe Pinoy, Tapat na Palakad, Bayan Online is concerned, is that ensuring that we could continue with the gains that we have for the past 20 years. And we will not be resting on our gains for the past 20 years, but we could continue doing some improvements. We could continue to transform our LGUs. Money, financial grant, financial aid to LGUs, not only in Eastern Visayas, they look into whether the LGU is compliant to the full disclosure policy. So at least for now, one standard that they're looking into is compliance to the full disclosure policy. So this is actually one deterrence. This is one deterrence for at least for us to know that the money intended will go really to where it's intended. It will benefit the public and will benefit the LGUs. And number 2 is that for us to have the support of the community, for the LGU to have the support for the NGOs to have, for LGUs to have the support of the civil society organization, trust and responsibility should be gained. Okay? So these are the 3 key principles of Tapat na Palakad, Bayan Online. With that, what are the continuing challenges as far as building the foundation of a responsible government? So, the continuing challenge is that the development should be outcome-oriented. That's the very reason that right now we are not counting our accomplishments based on the number of trainings that we have conducted. Okay? We are now counting the impact, the outcome, what's the result of the trainings that the DILG has conducted. Okay? And then it should invest in the quality of the human capital. And then it ensures an investment in using climate. We would like to, I think you still remember President Pinoy when during his persona, one of his priority agenda is job generation. Okay? But you will not have, or you will not be able to have industries which would result to job generation if the climate, as far as the climate of investment of doing business in the country is very negative. That's why there's a need for national government and the local government units to go hand in hand to help each other partner to ensure an investment using climate in every part of the country. And another thing is to ensure sustainability. There's a need to protect the integrity of the environment. So, thirdly, what I'll be mentioning, the Secretary Robredo's, the DILG's change agenda, the BART. So, BART stands for performance, accountability, responsiveness, and transparency. So, this is in response to the growing demands for us. Right? For the growing demands in the DILG to perform better, given the growing demand also of our clientele. So, when we speak of performance, it's not only performance does not mean MC compliance only. So, mere compliance to the memorandum circular. It means if we would like to perform, we should perform well. So, what should be the example for this one? One thing I think is, example na lang one example is, usually, we encourage the organization of BPIs, diba? Barangay-based institutions. So, we have the Barangay Council for the Protection of Children. Okay. To comply with LCA, of course, himong itang listahan, na natin, Barangay Council for the Protection of Children. So, that's MC. Ang problema pa doon, kailangan iba na naran, yung kuha natin klasifikasi intensive. So, kung ipapatawag mo na yung training, waray na. Pero waray na ito may magkakaako. Diba? So, that's what we call MC compliance. Diba? Being mere compliant to the memorandum circulars. That's not what we are talking about when we speak of performance. Because when we speak of performance, it means performing and performing very well. And how could we perform very well? One thing is by being punctual, by being regularly present in our respective areas of responsibility. How could you perform if most of the time you are out of your station? And when you look at the locator board, ang nakabunang pa dito, provincial office. Field work. Ang problema kayo, field man.
Field work.
Okay? So we need to be visible. So to that perform very well, we need to be visible. We have to fully involve ourselves in the change process that we are undertaking. And we should contribute our ideas through genuine implementation. So not MC compliant, but genuine implementation of the programs, the projects, and activities that we need to implement. Okay? We give accurate data devoid of our personal attachments. One negative effect of being assigned in your LGU for so very long, for a long time, is that you could not delineate already your personal and professional involvement and relationship. Okay? The DILG personnel should be perceived to be neutral. If you cannot be neutral, please just be perceived to be neutral. Okay? Because, as Secretary Robert has been saying and has been emphasizing, the DILG personnel is not the personnel of the LGU. It is the personnel of the DILG assigned in that particular LGU. And for this reason, the loyalty of the DILG personnel should be with the DILG, not the LGU. No matter if you will be receiving as financial assistance, traveling expenses, supplies, and materials. So we also work together, enable each other, maximize our resources, be honest and authentic in our communication. Okay. The problem if you are not always present in your LGU is if there's a need for a report, the tendency is nakakilala lagi kung ano yung report. Okay? Na-test ka naman. Okay, by the way, this gave me the opportunity. All LGOs should come up with the LGU Blue Book. Okay, all LGOs, LGU Blue Book. The LGU Blue Book contains the socio-economic, the ecological profiles. At the same time, if it's a learning situation, so this should be ready. Briefing was ready. Okay? And, of course, we have our own willing report, the political updates. So, aside from performance, another thing is accountability. Okay, so, what do we mean by accountability? Okay. This means, this means that we give what is expected from us. Okay, so